All right, Merry Christmas, everyone. Well, everyone who's watching tonight, Merry whatever day the other folks happen to be watching. Don't know who I'm going to be getting on today, but today we are wrapping up my Oh, I always forget the date of what this is. My May or more. This has been a Memorial Day trip. Trip up to New York City to partake in some of their Railfan windows before they went away in 2008. We are actually now on a Long Island Railroad, probably either an M1 or an M3, heading out to Valley Stream. Almost certainly an M. Actually, I don't know. This would have been a side window, so yeah, we're probably on an M7. But so interesting thing, I noticed that a lot of the Valley interlocking photos are not in this set. Well, they are, but they weren't posted. So this is going to be getting these photos back up in a way that people can view them. So that's always fun. I've got everything, should have everything ready. We are just passing through Dunton interlocking, and we are continuing from there. And I should have all my resources up to avoid weird delays. So here are at Dunton. This will be some stuff has been moved since they put in the new platform. When they put in East Side Access, Long Island Railroad basically used this as a way not to improve service or increase service, but to reduce costs in various ways. Instead of having more service go to Grand Central, they routed the trains that would have gone to Atlantic Avenue to Grand Central and then swapped out, or some of the trains that would go to Atlantic. They split the service basically between Grand Central and Penn, and then made Atlantic Avenue a shuttle. Even though Atlantic Avenue was a very important, and still is a very important thing, and now the connections don't line up right, and everybody hates it. But to do this, they unfortunately sort of massacred some of the Dunton interlocking situations here. I wonder if that's a... see, I can't see over there. Oh, I can check a DJ Hammer's video to see what the heck is going on. Anyway, this is all stuff that's taking place before all that happened. So right now, this will be the 20L for this is again which was used by was a freight track, is now in the new passenger track. But today in 2008, it was still the old 20L freight track. Plus, there's the airline right there for the switches. It's funny how, like, even today I would love to get this level, even though this is no Railfan window. The M7's polycarb windows are so faded that you can't even take any photos out the side of them. Which is why most of my Long Island Railroad trips now consist of go to a place, get off the train, get my photos, then get back on the train. The next thing I want to do with that is probably get out to what do you call that place? Babylon. Even though I think I have been there once before, but not recently. I'd like to get out there before they do anything with the air switches. I think it's one of the last few, besides Jamaica, one of the last remote air pneumatic interlocking plants. So here we are. This is actually J interlocking. This will be I believe it's the 64R. But it's the track. It's the what is it? Atlantic Ave branch, or not Atlantic Ave, the main line branch, track 2. 64R. It's always they should have like A and B on them, so this should be RB. With a classic See, that's one of the old school begin ASC signs. You can tell because that's for the cab signal start. Oh, that doesn't look great. It's got the either the holes or the small individual reflectors on them. So that's probably dates from the 1950s. Before they had that reflective polymer thing that's on everything these days. Next one. So this is the closer one. This is the 64RA. Again, for J interlocking, these are things that have gone up the slope and have gone over that flyover. So if you're looking on the overhead, that's this stuff coming here into the main part of J interlocking. So you can see when they buy the freight track, the freight bypass is sort of through here. Oops. And here are coming through Jamaica interlocking, or J. There's some of the double slip switches. These do have open flame burners, but they have a higher pressure of gas. They don't quite make the show like they do at Tower A2. The question is, I'm not 100% sure of which those are. But also, they don't tell me what switches these are once we get into it. So this is 7009 and 7269. Uh, 7009 and 7269. And I'll put those first. And same place, but now we have one of the C3 cab cars coming through 5022. This is at this point this is traveling deadhead back to the yard after having its, because trains going to Penn Station would have a dual mode at each end to prevent gapping out. So if you see a cab car, it's gonna be a terminating Jamaica train. You can see what the replacement relay hut for Jamaica, the interlocking machine. Again, this is just another example to show how these are almost certainly relay plants that they put in. These these are 2 main levels, and these even have a basement, so it's pretty crazy. Today, even these photos again are hard to get just because the windows are so bad. And here we have the bay window and the upper story of J Tower. Still there. Don't know what they're using. I'm sure it's used as a clubhouse in some way. The J was interesting. It had bay windows on both sides. But again, the Long Island Railroad might as well be a secret society. I've never seen I don't think I have any photos from inside J. I do have photos from inside Hall. Like freaking Fight Club. It's crazy. And here we have the, arguably the front. I'm not sure what counts as the front of the tower. I think this is the rear of the tower. I can see what I used to call this. I can use the old name. It doesn't matter. It's pretty good. And here we have all the construction. What do I even call this? All the construction trailers. And here are pulling in to the station. Let's see if I can read these switch numbers. Looks like 83, 40 something, 47, 47, 44, 63. Do I have any confirmation on that? Oh, that is 86L. So that is it is 83. We're coming in right on here on looks like track number 6 and number 7. So what is that? It's 83, 40 something, and 47. Thought I saw 44, but yeah, it's 44L. So it's got to be 40, 45, I guess. So let me check this out again. It's the most legible one. 47. I see the 4. That's 83. Pi 43. Oh, that's the one. So that one, oh man, this is tough to decode. Like, really tough. Oh, I think I'm looking at this switch. That one, oh, I don't know. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I can look at some other clues. It says 5E. No. Maybe it's 41 and 47. Guess I'll just have to go for 41. Yeah, the only stuff on this guy, they don't give me a diagram here for J Tower. Yeah. And like I said, this diagram that I have doesn't give me the 6 switch numbers. I think that there are a couple on the very last pages. Yeah, I don't see it. All right, nice. Here we are. We're going into the duck under. So we've now left Jamaica Station, and we're heading into the duck under zone here. Right there. So that's why this used to be tail tracks where you would see they would store MP15s. They're doing something there now, but I don't know what it is. They've ripped out some of the tracks. I read it somewhere. They're putting something in, but I don't know what it is right now. Anyway. Here we have number 150 here that used to hang out in those tail tracks. And finally leaving Hall interlocking. Oh, come on. Oh, wait, that's Valley Stream. Hold on, it's got to go up a couple. Arg. I'm on the main line. This is the Montauk branch. Port Wash. Alright, here we go. Wait, this isn't the main line. Yeah, this goes through Nassau. I don't know why this is trying to... I want the Babylon. Or whatever that branch is. Atlantic... is it Montauk? No. Oh, Atlantic. Atlantic. It's like at the very end. Okay, here we go. Brook. Dunton. Yeah, that's where I was. Here we go. The 10R. All right. So I believe that we're right there. The hall interlocking signals used to be sort of right there. I can't see them. Did they remove those? Almost just... Oh, there they are. They're right there. That's the hall 95E. And the hall 76R. Oh, they're even labeled on this. Duh. So this has 49 switch. And so I put 63 on this, but I know it's the 83. So maybe I'll change it to 49. So the 95E is an exit signal. The 76R would have been on the old interlocking machine. Oh, there's our first thing. So sorry for the slowness there. See if anyone has any questions. Oh, maybe it is run-throughs. Yeah. That's Valley Stream. Yeah, they're putting something in there. Oh, yeah, you're right. They are putting in run-throughs. You're right. Huh, I wonder where they're going to connect. That'll be interesting. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to run right through a whole bunch of, uh, part of the air plant unless they put the switches right in there. Yeah, all right, thanks. Good call, that. Yeah, they're just putting in a whole bunch of concrete to get a bridge over that guy and then connect it there, and then gonna probably, yeah. Not that they need the capacity. They aren't even managing the capacity problems they have right now. Mainly because they're running they'll run. They just won't change their schedule to realign with changed passenger priorities. So like this week, they're gonna be running a whole bunch of empty trains. But then they won't bother to run for the end of the day when people are done shopping. They aren't adding service. Mainly it's because the workers don't want to have to work extra time in the holiday. They just want to work their normal shift because they've already planned for it or whatever. So here we are at Valley Stream in the period of time immediately before the tower was re-signaled, but not, but when during the re-signaling process. So I have the old diagram up, and I have the new diagram also up, so I can go through with both sets of stuff. The rare time where I'll actually have access to both things. Now, none of these Valley photos seem to have made it. I don't know what I did with them. I think I don't know what. I put them somewhere else. They're not in this set. I forget where they are. I can't really find them. I don't know why I did this. I think I was trying to do like their own tower page for this. Wow, it's crazy how nice the windows used to be on the M7s when they were new. Okay, so what signals are we looking at here? We are looking at the 30L, 26L. Sorry, it would be actually the 32L and 28L. They don't show the exit signals for us. Those are put in when CTC happened. I wonder if I could... Let's take a look at what I have for Valley. So this is what it was before they started re-signaling it. 3 high signals in that one. I don't know why they dropped in those exit signals, and they're only there temporarily. Let's see if I have anything involving them here. They do appear to have the name, the letter plates on them. No. Oh, that's the problem. I've got to go through Valley Junction to get to them. Oh, there's the exit signals. That's the ones they kind of replaced. But when they put in the new tower, those didn't. Oh God, this whole valley thing is just conflated with 18 different signals. Just checking here real quick. All right. I'm not going to have a good handle on what those exit signals are. They're labeled, but I don't have any good way of determining what they're about. Anyway, the two that we can see are the 32L and the 28L. So which switch is this? I believe it's the, let's see. This is where it's helpful. I'm betting this is the 29 switch. Yes, this would be the 29. East. It was again renumbered for this resignaling project. But doesn't really matter today. Figure out what I'm going to get here. There we go. That's good. That gets rid of my reflection of the train car and everything there. Next. And again, we have the same issue with the new... Oh, you see this is... One second. There we go. Get rid of the black bars. All right, what do we got here? The 26R. Hold on. What's going on here? There should only be 3 signals. All right, I'm glad I kept this up. So it looks like 28R is the one all the way over there. So 28L should be 28R. It looks like they just didn't have it in this thing and they added it. So 28R, 32R, 26R. Alrighty. And finally, we are here looking back down the other way. So I don't have any good reference to what I did with these before. This is just the end of the platform. And again, even though my camera here has way better zoom, it definitely lacks sufficient zoom to. Oh, maybe I just didn't zoom in. Because I do believe that I have better photos. So I think I just wanted a picture of what's going on here. Here's a proper zoom. So again, what the LIRR likes to do is they will, when they re-signal stuff, they'll truck in the old pedestal signals. If there's an old signal bridge, they rip down the signal bridge. They put in these temporary pedestals. They can be temporary for up to like a year or so, and then eventually they'll replace everything. So what's funny is these are two different lines. So this is the on the inbound. That's the I think it's Atlantic, could be Atlantic branch, and the other one is, Atlantic branch on the lower, Montauk branch on the other one. Atlantic branch will go down to the Long Beach. So again, these are two different independent rail lines. 1, 2, 3. So track 1, 2, track 1, 2. They're just different lines. It's funny how that works. The closest signal in there is the 30R. So it's going to be 30R plus the 26R clear, 32R plus the 28R also clear. And then the new West End westbound signal bridge. What's interesting is one of these does have the label on it. Oh, that's right, because they were going to make that pedestal permanent. Not sure if that was an upgrade from a dwarf or not. Alright, anyway, that's all done. Oops. And now, we have a photo that wasn't of the tower. I think that this would be the West Hempstead shuttle. That's the way they tend to run it. West Hempstead doesn't get a lot of direct service, so it has a shuttle from Valley Stream. There's a little yard there. It's 4703. 7403, I mean. And here we have a better photo of the 3 replacement pedestals. I'll cut out that new stuff there. So I just need to remove that 30, oops. Remove that 30R. And that. Cool. At least it's nice to be able to name things that previously didn't have it. What the heck? I need to find some more cuts here. Try to get these under 600 kilobytes. Yeah, that's good. All the foliage blows up the size. Oh, that wasn't good. There we go. And here we have the 3 new signals. I do have photos of these later on in their careers, but not at this point. This was one of the last projects. This and Queens were the last projects on the Long Island Railroad that had new PRPLs when the unions were strong enough to keep these going. Oh. I don't think I can read what those exit signals are. Don't think I have enough resolution. No, I don't. It's all a little backlit, but not a huge deal. Alright, so what do we have here? We've got those 2 guys there. The 30R and the 26R. And then the West End interlocking. Finally, we're going back. We see Valley Tower and the 23 switch. Along with what I believe is the 18L. Huh, I can't see what that is. Yep, that's the 18L. Looks like it got moved, but nah. So again, all of this would have been controlled off the Model 14 machine. Note that the cab signal test equipment is because when they do cab turns here, they got to do sometimes we'll have to do a cab signal test. And probably coming in, this might be departing, oh, this might be the shuttle. The other one probably wasn't a West Hempstead. It might have been a Far Rock train. And here's the West Hempstead shuttle coming in from the yard. That's why it's got the headlight on, but also the rear marker lights. That's mass signal there is the 24L. Yeah, this is the Hempstead shuttle. And a close-up of, this is probably already layered for the new interlocking. Oh, this is labeled as the 23 switch. Good for them. Just double check that. Yep. All right, there we go. And finally, we've hit another thing. Let's see if anybody has any questions. All right, let's see what we got next. Just make sure I have everything. Yep, we got everything going here. So yeah, I'm sure these photos were up at some point, but I just am not sure where they went. Like, they're not in this set. And I remember that I was trying to curate a dedicated Valley Tower page at one point back in the day. At least back, I mean, even to this day, Valley is a pretty neat place to hang out. With all the, especially with more, you know, in the peaks where there's more train movements. Oops. Valley, unfortunately, gets conflated with Amtrak's Valley interlocking, which I had a lot of, and that with its, which is located in conjunction with Overbrook Tower, controlled from a CTC machine inside. Okie doke. So first off, we start with the 18L pedestal head. The head. So how did I do this back in the day with the old Valley? What is this? The 2-3E. So it's, yeah, the second. The Long Island Railroad would have extended things, extended interlockings. So they'll have like 2 dash, you know, like they put the whole dash system on it. So this is the 2-3E. Should be able to get all those folks together. It's interesting that the new one actually came with train order lights that the old one did not have at this location. The train order lights were actually farther away at the old gantry. They put them here, and now the tower's closed. So, you know, there you go. Ah. So you have two new ones, the 2-1E and the 2-2E. So part of what they did when they made this sort of 3 logical interlockings, it used to have switches and signals were interlocked throughout the entire length of the interlocking. So you would exit the west end, and then there would be no corresponding entrance signals. And because they were trying to make this sort of a logically contained thing that wasn't, you know, you could do that in a Model 14 machine. It's perfectly acceptable thing to do. You know, you have all locking stuffs available. When they were trying to make them more independent, Valley-2, and maybe even a Valley-3 or whatever, they needed to have interlock signals on both ends of them. So that's what why these had to be installed when they weren't there before. Also, it's interesting that this fairly new mast was replaced by a pedestal. So this would be the 24L. Yeah, very strange that these photos seem to have just sort of vanished. I think that yeah, that's the 2-4E. Yeah, now that I have all with the correct documentation, this can go pretty quick. And here we have the 25 switch. The diamond's far off in the back there. All right, next. Oops, I don't have. Yeah, there's no next. I can't see what I wrote with these. I'm sure I have. That's the problem. I have a bunch of photos of the tower. I just don't know which ones I've used or not. Oh, you know what? I can just check to see what, like, what I would have this. Well, I don't know. It would take a while to find them. This is just a mess. Yeah, this would be, in theory, the 3-track, but this is just me trying to get a look down at the east end of the interlocking here. Is that a dwarf? No, I don't think so. Which track's that? That's Atlantic Track 1. And you have an alternative version of this. Oh, there's the SRS. Yeah, there's usually an SRS mobile Doodlebug parked at Valley. It's sort of like the Long Island Railroad's like on tap one. So this is number 128. All right, that's fair. There's the SRS plus the diamond, sort of obscured, unfortunately. This area is one of the bigger headaches for the PTC issues. This was because this is a mainline issue, mainline area. It wasn't going to be PTC exempt like Jamaica or other places like that were. But the problem is that specifically where you had this platform and a diamond, you really need to be able to have trains be right up against it. But the PTC system was, they had issues with it enforcing a positive stop well before the end of the platform. I don't know what their ultimate solution was. And here we have the shuttle departing. It's not the worst. I mean, the fouling point would be that diamond, not the facing point, not the switch here. PTC is not required to prevent stop signal violations, just collisions. So that would be the fouling point of the first trailing point crossover, diamond, drawbridge, something like that. A facing point switch just routes you down a different track, but it doesn't necessarily. You would have at that point you would have it's sort of like a conflicting move collision, which is different than like an end-to-end type of collision. Let's see what we have here. And that's all with 6673. Or 7763, I mean. Alright, and same with another photo here. So he comes out and he starts crossing over and then goes down to West Hempstead over there. So for the shuttle train. And it has a little yard east of the tower that you can't really see right now. And here we then have the 2E-2 sort of all by its lonesome. I think I was just trying to get a, this signal would apply to these impedance bonds. So I'll include those right there. Remember, impedance bonds, what you need on, they will allow the DC traction current to pass, but not the track circuit or cab signal code, which are at which would be at an AC type of frequency. Need for impedance bonding is one of the reasons that a lot of European countries still use axle counters or mechanical signals, because you don't, without a track circuit, you don't need to bond. And they'll go up and down about how, axle counters are no different, but the FRA is fortunately the one good thing that they're doing is pretty, for issues with broken rails, plus clearing. The fact that you can clear an axle counter violation with a button in Europe is something that would absolutely happen all the time over here and would result in a lot of crashes. So, new 2-2E PED plus the bonds plus an insulated rail joint. There we go. Here we have a nice one. The 20. This is a Blvd Line train, number 7246, M7s. Yeah, all the M1s are out by 2007, which seems early, just because they look so modern. They came in. They were in by 1967, 68. I mean, so they basically got their 35 to 40 years. So good on them. I assume. Oh, wait, what? There it is. And now we have this one. Looks like they're putting in an elevator. You can see all the plywood stuff there. Huh, the 23 switch is reverse for the 23 switch is reverse there for the next Far Rock train. Is that 25 switch or 23 switch? 23 switch. Oh, and I guess the 18L is there. And last one for this thing, a nice pass. Oh, that was the, this is the tail end of this guy. So 7159, and the other dude is just past him. Oh, the 18L isn't in this one. Yep, looks good. So that's it for the second to last set. Let's see if people have some questions here. Oh, the bag. So this is So, Rollin, this has been yeah. The M3s are trying to be retired. I don't know what's taking them so long, honestly, but they're hanging in there. So these photos are captured when Valley Stream was in the midst of its I won't say resignaling project. Tower remained open, but the Model 14 machine and the old interlocking stuff were retired. So when they're along on the railroad, they'll come in, they'll remove a bunch of the old signals, put up temporary pedestals, and then go about their resignaling effort. All right, so that's the last for Valley Stream. We're now going to be cutting to 1 South Ferry 9 and a couple other bits and pieces. So enjoy. That was Valley Stream for you. Definitely, if you want to go, if you missed some of the photos, they will be appearing forthwith tonight on my normal. I'll throw it in the chat I'll put it in the chat right now where these are going to show up. Just be aware they're not going to be up there. They're not going to be up there for like a few minutes. So you can go and you can go and see these pictures there. Wait, did I get them all? Yeah, they're there. They'll be there. All right, so I want to check out something real quick here. This is 2008. Huh. So this is the only thing I did for Memorial Day. Yeah, hey, good use of AI. '05, 25, 2008. It was a Sunday. Interesting. I'm assuming that date is truthful. So I guess I was off the next day. The reason this is because I got picked up at Rahway, of all places, at the end of this. So anyway, this is a 2145 at the SF Loop. This is going to be a tough one to figure out how I deal with this. I did have some really good, thanks to Hurricane Sandy, I got some reasonable photos of the South Ferry Loop when it was back in action after 2012. I actually got stuck in the city due to the Boston Marathon bomber locking down the city, and I was stuck waiting for an overnight bus to get up there to go visit a friend. Anyway, let's see how we're dealing with this. So first of all, let's go back to the subway. We're going to be going to Subdivision A, the Broadway line. Wait, no. Oh, come on. Where is this? There it is. This should be my 2009 one. The problem is they don't have it. They don't have the old South Ferry stuff here. I might have to go to a different source. Let's see. That wasn't it. Was it put it in H? Yes, it was put it in H. So I got this cool picture of the gap station, the gap filler panel. This is where the people. Remember, I said like they really hate you taking pictures of them in the dispatch offices because they're damn asleep. Oh, I didn't post the photo. I should go back and post it of them being like totally asleep. Okay, this is exactly what I needed here. They have the 3 track circuits. I'm just trying to figure out what their number, if they have like numbers. So I think this is the lever 105 gap filler. So yeah, so the closest one would be lever the 105 gap filler. These are the gap fillers here are done by compressed air. So here we have, what line is this? 7th Ave. And it's a 162, number 2425. Oh, I'm just looking for like so. Yeah, I'm just looking for the interlocking information. And fortunately, I captured it in 2013, in the year or two after Sandy, when they had to reactivate South Ferry. Now, there's one there's one photo that I didn't post, but I should have, and I should go and find it again. It's where I literally have 5 people in there, and one guy is totally asleep because it was 9 p.m. I'd never actually been in the subway that late because people in New Jersey are expected to leave the city. They don't really want us there. It's part of the social contract. We don't scare the foreign tourists, and they let us come into the city. The gap fillers at 14th Street or Union Ave, whatever the ones on the 4-5 are pretty neat, but like these South Ferry ones were damn cool. I did get some videos of these working, but at this time, but I got better videos I think in 2013. Here we have. I know what those S's are for. I'm guessing it's to go slow. What can I do here? Again, if this would have been today, I would have been able to get all sorts of really good photos with my phone. Even in 2015, I didn't have my phone to a good, because phones take better night photos than pretty much anything else now. Night, low light, because they're designed to shoot in people's homes and whatnot. So then again, number 24. I'm not. I guess I was just really. It's grainy enough that I'm pretty sure I was just hand holding the camera. I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing. But I might have been trying to balance it on something to take a timed exposure. So here I have the station platform plus the 105 gap filler. So this one I absolutely was able to get. I think after the train left, I was able to get this. This was definitely a steady timed exposure. Very nice. There is the 102 platform. That looks like there's the interlocking signal. That's the sort of the platform hold signal, and then you do this where these S's are slow until the thing, and the time you slowly move forward. The gap fillers retract. The signal will deluminate, lower the trip, and then off you are to the races. I do have this procedure in my one of my videos. I hate to run it. Nope, that's not it. It'll be this one. So I'm just gonna turn off the sound because it's loud. But you can see there's the door. The train begins to move. It triggers something. I think it might push against it. I'm not sure. The gap filler retracts. Now the trip is falling. The light's going out at the far end. He's going past that light that I just showed you. And now he can go full speed leaving the station. Full speed being like, 15, it's interesting that the New York City subway is so slow that in its slowest parts actually seem fast. Faster than you would expect them to be. Like, you would expect the train to be moving at a crawl, but it can actually move, even though it's going 10 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour seems pretty fast leaving the curve there. South Ferry can only platform five cars. Let's see if they have 105, 107, 109, 111. So they only have 4 things, but I'm guessing they fit 5 cars against 4 track circuits. I don't know. Only the first half of these trains could platform. Yeah, I'm not doing this. I didn't handle this well when I first had it. This is a really nice picture here. But today, you just put this on night sight on your phone. Done. Absolutely done. So that's like a blind trip. The number 102. So it's South Ferry Int. And that signal there is not telling me, but if I go back to the thing, that is the 92 signal. It's crazy how they were able to reactivate all of this. It's nice they didn't screw it up or mothball it too badly. This is really, really nice. I'm glad I had. That's a nice photo there. Here is a non-stable or a poorly stabilized photo going back the other way. It's hard. It's always hard when you get to a loop is where does the northbound, southbound end, and can you have a point where both directions are northbound, southbound? That inner track there, that is where the 5 train, some 5 trains terminate at Bowling Green, or if you go by Mr. Burns, Bowling Green. That also used to have they used to have a platform there. The South Ferry Inner platform. The curve is so tight that only the middle center doors of 3 on these IRT cars were able to platform. I got to figure out how to do the straightening here. Eventually, it was only used by the Bowling Green shuttle, a train that would shuttle people from Bowling Green to this little tiny platform on South Ferry. You can even see there's a roll-up door and this train it had like 2 cars, and it was specially modified to only have the center doors open because the end doors were so far away from the platform. That's another bit of history that you can no longer see because the South Ferry loop is now closed. It's interesting that like a loop track was less preferable to, a typical terminal X over. One of the issues they did do it when they hold on. One second. I'll show you in the diagram. So, the new interlocking here, the dispatch panel, blah, 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 blah. So, what determines your terminal capacity. Do I have a better thing here? I can't make a box. Anyway, what determines your terminal capacity is the distance between where the train starts and the crossover. As you can see, there's quite a bit of distance between where the train starts, and that really zaps your capacity. Because to do a terminal op, it's the time it takes between the train goes there and clears. So I guess a train would come through, and this guy has to get moving. So I'm guessing that, like, in theory, you could start the train early before the other train is moved. So I guess he can move up to that signal. But if your interlocking is especially long, that can really delay your terminal operations. Apparently, a 3-track terminal can really pump out. You almost have very no delays. With a 2-track terminal, they can turn. My friend told me it's like some pretty high number of trains an hour. Apparently, a 3-track terminal can churn out as many, with like three tracks and 2 platforms, can churn out pretty much as many trains as you would need to. I'm not entirely sure what the magic on that is, but it's definitely something. Now, where is this? This is at 168th Street. Oh, that's right. I wanted to do more Queens Boulevard riding. This is where I think I went to look for the tower and I couldn't find it or something. Or maybe it was like the windows were closed. Wait, the C. Oh, wait. 168th. Where the heck is this? Oh, this is up in New York. Sorry, I was thinking of... There's all these weird time skips that I'm not quite like. Where was I going? What was I doing? The R38s I always know because people the little fiberglass frieze there was always underappreciated design element. Yeah, I can't see what these are. I think this is just the C terminal. Yeah, this is one I don't need to really fiddle with because this is never going to happen again. I'm never going to have any duplication. There's no signal stuff in it. It's all good to go. Where's this? Okay, this is... Alright, hold on. Eighth Avenue, 168th Street. Zoom in. Oh, there's like a master tower here. GRAS NX panel that happens to have USNS A10 switch machines. There you go. This looks like, what is this? The 714 switch? 726. Oh, I was at the wrong end of the platform. I'm pretty sure this is still in service. Should get up there at some point. There's a whole bunch of things where they can operate these towers, but they only do it during peak periods. So this is the 8th Avenue line. This looks pretty clear, so I must have put my camera down on something. Eighth Avenue line, 168th Street, interlocking. The 726 signal. Approach slow. And there we go. And here we have the other side, the 730 signal displaying an approach medium. I know it's not that, but I'm just calling it that because I like, I can't think of anything else. Who knows if I even included these? I probably just deleted them the last time. No, I didn't. And I love the rust. Remember St. Louis car? Here's a really good. Remember, I showed you that if in part 1 or part 2, I had the picture of the slant 40s in front of this modified 40s. Here we have a fantastic picture showing the difference between a Bud built R32 and a St. Louis built R38. St. Louis, they put on some stainless steel, but the roofs were carbon. Meanwhile, those Bud roofs, that's also stainless. Now the R32s weren't no, this is a 207th apparently. Those R32s were not blameless. They did have an amount of carbon steel internals. That's why you heard, when they reefed the R32s, they quote unquote fell apart. After about a year, some diver went down there and they completely disintegrated. That's just because you had galvanic corrosion. What is that? The stainless and the carbon steel, the carbon steel just immediately eroded, and then the structure just fell apart because it was all held together with carbon. The older subways didn't have that, and the steel was thicker, and they just sort of got stuff on them. But I'm betting it was a galvanic corrosion issue. Just another quick angle here. Cool. All right, last bits. We are finishing up at Rahway. I remember I mentioned Union. On my way, so somehow I think that I was catching a ride from my friend who was coming down from. They were coming down from school up in Troy, New York, and I think that he was able to give me a ride somehow. No, I'm not. This it wasn't from Rahway. I was just passing through Rahway. So what's funny is that even though I'm going through Rahway, the tower was still open, even though they'd re-signaled these. So technically these would be the old lever numbers. Let's see what I did. Yep. So this one I kept them in the originally I kept them big. I like the And finally, oh yeah, I got picked up at Metro Park. Pretty sure he was driving down from the Troy area. Oh, that's right. He got a job in the area at the time, so he wasn't actually like, he would have been just about to graduate or just graduated, so like he wouldn't be driving home for good. He would just be coming back for Memorial Day. And he was probably offered to give me a ride from Metro Park. We probably hung out or did something. This is well within my time frame where I was hanging out with him up in Troy. 4610. So this is probably cheaper for me to get this here. And these 4600 units have also been pretty new at the time, the ALP 46s. All right, well, that is it. I really hope you had a good time. We can... any questions here? Yeah, you can get a pretty high number of trains per hour at even a 2-track, but you have to have that switch immediately after where the platform is, so the train can go and immediately cross over. That space that the train has to run between where it starts and the interlocking, or wherever it can get to go at where the signal is, you effectively double that. When it has to traverse that, not only has to wait for a train to come out, clear up, then this has to go, and that really starts eroding your TPH. Yes, so, yeah, the 90s they call those snitch boards. On NORAC, permanent speed restrictions have to be mounted about 5 feet or higher above the tracks. Temporary ones are low down. There was a threat of an Amtrak strike sometime in the 80s. So they were going to have management run the trains. And to do that, they put up all the speed signs all over the NEC. So they call them scab boards. So there's your little trivia for you. All right. Thank you for joining. Merry Christmas. We will be back tomorrow and the next 2 days. Remember, my Septemid winter trip is going to be on Monday for anyone of the 3 people who might be listening. And I'm pretty sure it's just for a change of pace. We're going to do the San Jose VTA. Set of photos. Brian, I hope you can make it. And you know, we don't have a lot of these left. I do have some additional photo things. I found some photos from PD Towers last days that I want to do up. They're not mine, but they're sort of guest photos. We're definitely going to have a set from going to Pittsburgh. I have another bunch of PRR mainline photos, but you know, it's from the fall, so they aren't really that great. We have some. Oh shoot! This is. I said I'm not going to do these now because I want to work up to it. This might have to wait until next Thanksgiving. I have about a 5-part series of photos covering the Capital Limited. We've done some of those before. SEPTA Midwinter Trip 3. That sounds like what I'm probably going to do next year. So, you know, we'll chonk through the rest of this. That should get me all the way up to through to next year, next Christmas, and that's when I'll be pretty much closed out on these photos, and we can have some renaming and some other stuff. So we'll see what goes on after that. All right, Merry Christmas. I'll see you all tomorrow for San Jose VTA. No reason it won't be at 10:15 like always. 10:15 Eastern, 7:15 West Coast. All right, hey, have a great day. Merry Christmas.